this is a bit of an extension activity for you if you feel like it. Talking about calligraphy. Calligraphy is what you basically make letters, and that's how you write letters. In the old-fashioned days, people, of course, didn't have computers, didn't have things like that. They had pens and nibs, and the nibs are different sorts. So this nib, for example, here is just, it's quite small. It's quite thin. I don't know if you can see that properly on the computer, on the screen. But the nib on that one is just, it's like a point. This one has got a flat end to it, and this is called an italic nib, and this is more like the sort of nib that people would use in the olden days. And you get them in different things, you get them in different widths, you get them in all sorts of different sizes, and pens that do this. The whole point of this is that the ink is held in the little gap in between the two ends of the tip, which you can just about see, but they are actually in the middle there. But you don't have to use one of these pens if you don't have one. You can get felt tips that are italics as well, which are really, really good fun. But the point of using one of these is that you get a beautiful line with it. And of course, this is why you see these old pictures of people or old bits of writing with these amazing handwriting. And I'm going to have a go and show you how to do it. So, obviously, you could do this with a felt tip as well. You don't need to worry too much about that. But this is the way it goes. So, A. Whoop. And a little a, in a cursive style. Nice and simple. B. Oh, I'll run out of ink. B. You can see that it starts to look old and scratchy, which is the way it's supposed to be. Interesting way of doing a B. C, start with a dot and you make your way around, and the small version is exactly the same, smaller. D, this is quite a nice one. You go down, around, up and over, and the small d is, if I want to think, just like a C, up to the top and down. E is quite an interesting one because you can play around it. It looks like a backwards 3, that's the way I was taught it anyway. So you start there and you go round E, and then the little one is exactly the same. F is quite nice as well, quite satisfying. You go down with a little line across it. It's a capital F, obviously. The old-fashioned F is the best one and also the trickiest. So lowercase f, you go all the way up to the top, all the way to the bottom, back up, round and across. G, capital G, is like the C, same starting point. So you go round, then you go up, down and round. You can add a little thing on there if you want to. Lowercase g, up, round, down and loop. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Capital H is a nice one again. You do 2 sticks first and then you cross. And a smaller h, starting at the bottom, up, round, down and over. I is very strange. I is like a mini J. That's a capital I, and a little I is like a swoop, and the dot, if you've got an italic pen, you should make it look like a little square. J, this is where you see the difference. So J goes up, down, round. That's capital J, and a little j is like the I, but with a loop. K. Same stick as the H, oops, and a little k, quite interesting, you go up, down, round, and you make a little loop. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Nice and easy, a bit like the D, with a loop. And the small l, or lowercase l, it's got a loop in it like that. Right, second half of the alphabet, let's go. Capital M. Start with the main stick, and then literally 2 bits over. And the small m, exactly the same but smaller. N is just a smaller version of the N, of M even. and the little n again. O, nice and easy. Small one, obviously you've got a horizontal join afterwards. P is unusual. P is unusual because it looks more like a H, and that was so that you could carry on writing with it. So the capital P is a bit like a B without the bottom bit, but the lowercase p is a mixture of an H with a tail of, say, a J. So if you watch, I'll show you. Start from the bottom, go up to the top, all the way down, back up, P. Yeah, I know, it looks weird, but it's great. Q and OPQ. Q is like an O, and then you add to the tail on. And the small one starts with the same shape as the D, but you go down and up, and that's how you join onto the next letter. R, again, you've got the same sort of line as the P. Start with a P, and then you just carry on. And the small r, do like that. S is quite tricky because you're sort of starting with the same as the C and the G. It has to swirl around first. S. And a small s. R, S, T. T is actually more like the F. T sort of goes like that. That's a capital T. Small t, you start with a line. You go across the line, up, and then round. And again, that's to help you if you're doing joined up writing. U, capital U, it's quite beautiful, and a small u, exactly the same. And OPQ, RSTU, V. V has sort of like a rounded bottom, it's not to a point, and same with the small one as well. W, just like an extended V. So capital and lowercase, exactly the same. X, now I love X. X is a beautiful one. So you start at the top, you go round. It's like a backwards C. And then you do the same the other side to make your X. Small x. Y is literally the same as Y. Both the same as each other. And the last one, Z, capital Z is pretty boring, but lowercase z, so you can join onto it. You go across, down, and then this is the cool bit, you go around in a loop. So there we go. There is the old-fashioned alphabet, and just to try and make it a bit more interesting for you, I shall write out the classic phrase. I can't do it on this because it's a bit too wet, which is the quick brown dog, oh sorry, quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. This is my cheat sheet, put it at the top there. So, the. Quick. I'm going to leave that for a minute and come back to it. Brown. Fox. Jumped. Over. The. It's a funny place to start with a T, but it makes sense. Then lazy. Watch this Z. And last but not least,